Hey everybody, welcome to Kenwood, where we're meeting the world-famous ballet dancer, model and actor Eric Underwood. The Ivy Tunnel has featured in many famous films, including Notting Hill, so it's the perfect location for us to meet up today. I'm Claudia Piper, and I can't wait to chat to Eric, who has danced all over the world, and for us to find out a bit more about the man, his life story so far, his mission, and what he's up to next. Heading over to his place, we drive through historic Highgate and past the Highgate Literary and Scientific Institution, which welcomed great artists, poets, and Karl Marx in the past.
My mom sort of saw that I had some talent with dancing, and so I felt quite encouraged to move, but she thought that I would be an actor, and having failed at that audition, I didn't want to disappoint her. She was in the car and she would have been furious. I walked into a ballet audition.
Good boy.
But my mom always raised me to be quite confident, so I said to the teacher, if you show me, I can do it. And I think that's one of the situations where being the only guy was very helpful for me. So the teacher encouraged me to carry on with dancing, and fell in love with it. I think it was quite nice to be around other like-minded children and get a chance to dance without anything like bullying or anything being present. But at the same time, it was a huge culture shock for me, coming from Washington, D.C., which was probably 90% African-American, going into a school where I was referred to as the black dancer. My identity changed.
So how did you cope with that?
For me, I felt quite proud to be black, so I didn't see it as anything derogatory at all. I felt like, oh, okay, well, great. So they've acknowledged me, now you're going to see how well I dance.
Oh, good for you, man. Good for you.
I didn't feel like I was surviving. I felt like I was doing what I was meant to do. And someone had told me I could be great at this. So having my parents' confidence, I feel like was the thing that pushed me beyond trying to survive a difficult situation. I didn't have any huge expectations. I was really excited to join such a great company. But also at the same time, going to a new country that was sort of really, really out of the bounds for me.
Quite daunting, maybe?
Well, yeah, but being able to share a language was really nice. I remember calling my mom and saying, she said, how's it going? And I said, everybody says, are you all right in the morning? And I was like, oh, why are they asking me that? Do I not look like I'm okay? So you just had this moment where you have to like climatize, although you share a language.
So tell us what your day looked like as a soloist. Is it like getting up at 8, in the studio at 9, working until 8 o'clock at night, and no Burger King?
I wouldn't say that. So for me, it'd be waking up in the morning and doing some weight training.
Okay.
And then going into the studio, doing class, and then rehearsing and training all day. And then, unlike some other dancers, I don't think that doing one thing without enriching yourself with other experiences helps you grow as an artist. So I would probably go out to a club at night, or go out to dinner, or do something a bit wild, so that when I'm going on stage and I need to portray love or sadness, I have somewhere to pull from, not just being in a studio trying to be perfect.
Yes, and so inspiration has to come from the real world?
Absolutely, 100%, I believe.
Okay, even when you're dancing a classic role?
Absolutely. When you're dancing a classic role, whatever you're dancing, you're on stage and people come to be removed. They come to have a fantasy. They come to experience an emotion. When you do a classical piece, something like Le Bayadere, someone like Mikhail Baryshnikov has done it. So they'll say, okay, Eric, I want you to do that. And when Baryshnikov did it, he did this.
Yeah.
And then you have to go along with those guidelines of how you're going to do it. When you're doing a new choreography, a new piece, I had an opportunity to explore what Eric would be like. And when someone else does chroma in the future, they'll say, okay, well, Eric did this. That was a rare opportunity for me to be the first and actually create it around what I enjoy.
What happens chemically in your brain when you are in your element in choreography like that? Do you just sort of get carried away?
I wouldn't say get carried away, but I think
you still have to focus though, don't you? Because you need to remember your choreography, I guess.
No, exactly the opposite.
Okay.
I would say I have to focus in rehearsals so that I have the tools to go on stage and be completely abandoned. And when I say that, I think that when an audience member watches you dance, it's one thing to watch someone perform for you.
Yeah.
It's another thing to witness someone doing something they enjoy. So I want to go on stage and be witnessed rather than performing. Ballet isn't a place that really celebrates individuality, and I feel like that's something that needs to change. That was always a really difficult thing for me. I always felt like I had to hit my head against. So, and when I say individuality, I mean in every sense. Race, height, weight, everything. I've danced with Melissa Hamilton a lot. She's from Northern Ireland, and we have very like-minded ways of thinking, so we did really well together. For me, it was quite natural to put makeup on my shoes. I'd always done it. I just happened to be in Italy where I couldn't find makeup my color, and just wrote to all the ballet companies on Instagram, the power of Instagram, saying, if you make a shoe in another color, I'll love you forever. The Russians said, wear black shoes, which was ignorant, but hey. And then Block came back saying, we love you, we'd love to collaborate on a shoe. So it actually worked out not only for me, but for loads of other people. But the intention was just to get shoes that match. My best memory so far was yesterday when I went to London Fields Primary School and got a chance to work with children. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really like to live too far in the past. I'll look sideways and forward, but not too much back. So I think growing up and going to ballet boarding school and then dancing with big ballet companies like that, I know that world so well.
Yeah.
I felt like it was time to leave. And I have to say this, and I don't mean to be offensive to any other dancers, but a lot of dancers live in their legacy. They talk about how great they used to be. You should have seen me. I could jump, I could turn.
But that is the past.
And I freak out about that. I don't like to look back in the past, so I wanted to leave young enough to reinvent myself. Yeah, I felt like I had a lot more to give, and I felt like the things I learned within the ballet world would be much more useful if I used them outside of the ballet world. I work with loads of children, and going out and sort of, for me, it's really important to introduce ballet to children that wouldn't know about it otherwise, so that you can, so that in the future there isn't a black person who's the only one, because there's a larger pool to choose from. So I think that it is about finding talent, and I've done that successfully a few times now, but I think it's more so about the things that come along with being a ballet dancer, like discipline, confidence, and also giving them an opportunity to be involved in that world. They don't have to be a dancer. You could be a stage manager, an audience member, or there's a whole world within that space that you could be involved in if you knew about it.
Your favorite place in London?
My favorite place in London, sorry, that sounds awful, but it's probably Claridge's.
So is that where you take your mum, let's say?
Yeah, I love to take my mom. My mom came to visit. I took her there for dinner, and we had a little drink in the Fumoir bar. It was really nice. I think what my mom did is really impressive in a sense that she didn't push me to do things I didn't excel at naturally. So I was never a huge academic, but she pushed me to be a creative. And
That's
she said,
even a talent
"You
as a
can do
human
that."
being.
Yeah, so I feel like if more parents would go out and sort of encourage their children to be creative, you would just have more creative children. People that felt like they could do that wholeheartedly without being like apologetic or you're doing something wrong. I think when I'm modeling and acting, bringing movement is quite easy for me naturally, but I have to focus in a different way than I would be dancing.
Yes,
the good thing about modeling is that if you get it wrong, you can do it again.
Favorite job so far?
I think I've had a few of my favorite jobs. I can't really pinpoint one, but I will say that unlike being in the ballet, I get an opportunity when I go to work to do something different every time, which is really nice. But I was in Mexico dancing the ballet, Sleeping Beauty, and my trousers fell down to my ankles, and then I stood there in my dance belt, and my last name is Underwood, and then the ballet master said, Eric Underwear, and just put my head down and kept it moving. Yeah, I like to go clubbing, and I like to dance to techno and disco, and I like to go to the box and lose time. It's fantastic,
A new project on the horizon for you. What's up next?
I am working on some film and television things I can't talk about, but I'm also doing lots of outreach with loads of kids around the UK, getting an opportunity to sort of introduce ballet to them.
So not just schools in London?
Not just schools in London, all around the UK.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. Eric Underwood, you are on TA-DAH.TV. What is your message to the world?
My message to the world would probably be to find something you're passionate about and do that.
Loved meeting Eric? Then do subscribe to our super cool and free VIP newsletter online at TA-DAH.TV and on YouTube too for more exciting interviews. See you next time. Bye.